Mobile banking and internet banking sound like the same thing wearing two different hats. They're not the same thing, and the difference has nothing to do with which one uses the internet. Both of them do. Here's why it's worth 2 minutes of your attention. In the United States, mobile banking is now the main way almost half of all banked households touch their money. 48.3% against 19.8% for online banking. Whichever door you walk through, you're choosing what you're allowed to do and how a thief would have to come at you. So let me give you the direct answer straight away. Internet banking is your bank's full service, reached through a web browser. You go to the bank's website, you log in, and you get the complete set of tools your bank offers. Mobile banking is a narrower, faster slice of that same service delivered through an app the bank wrote and you installed on your phone. Same accounts, same balance, same money, different door, different key, and a different amount of the building you can actually walk into. That's the short version. The reason the app can't simply do everything the website does is where this gets genuinely interesting, and it has almost nothing to do with screen size. There's also a question sitting underneath this one that most people actually care about. Which of the two is safer? I'll give you a straight answer on that in a few minutes, and it's not the answer most people expect. By the end, you'll know exactly which channel to use for which job, and the one kind of transfer you should think twice about starting on your phone. Let's clear up the names first, because they're a mess. Internet banking, online banking, net banking, e-banking, web banking. In the United States, banks mostly say online banking. In India and much of Asia, the exact same product is called net banking or internet banking. In Britain, it's online banking again. 5 names, one thing. Your bank in a browser. And here's the part that trips people up. Because the app also runs on the internet, plenty of textbooks describe mobile banking as a subset of internet banking rather than its opposite. That's a fair way to see it. So if you ever find a comparison chart telling you one of them uses the internet and the other doesn't, that chart is simply wrong. Both need a connection. Only the door changes. Now look at where those 2 doors came from, because the history explains the differences that survive today. The browser door came first. In 1994, Stanford Federal Credit Union put up what's generally recognized as the first internet banking website. Presidential Bank followed in 95. It spread fast. By the year 2000, roughly 80% of banks had a website, and the branch stopped being the only place your account existed. The phone door had a rougher start. Before mobile web services existed, mobile banking meant SMS banking. You texted a short code, you got your balance back as a text message. That was the whole product. Then in 1999, a protocol called WAP arrived, and the first WAP banking service launched in Norway. It worked, technically. It was also slow, expensive, and rendered on a screen the size of a postage stamp. So for about 8 years, the phone was the stripped-down cousin of the website. Then the smartphone arrived in 2007, apps got real, and mobile banking went from a novelty to the default. In the last decade alone, mobile as the main way people reach their account grew almost 9-fold. Teller use dropped by more than half. Even online banking as the primary channel fell by more than 1/3. The app won. But it inherited that stripped-down heritage, and traces of it are still there. Here's the real technical difference, and it's the thing that drives everything else. A browser is a general-purpose program. It renders whatever a server sends it, from any website in the world, and it has no idea whether it's showing you your actual bank or a convincing copy of it. An app is different. It's a specific piece of software your bank wrote, shipped through an App Store review process, and installed on one particular device. Which means the app knows something the website can never know on its own. Which physical phone it's running on. That's called device binding. Your identity gets tied cryptographically to that handset, so somebody who steals your password still can't get in from their own device. A website has no equivalent. It only knows whether whoever is typing knows the password. That single difference shapes the features, the limits, and the security story. Let's take them in order. Start with what internet banking still does better, because this surprises people who assume the app has caught up. The browser is where the once-a-year jobs live. Bulk payments and multiple transfers in one sitting. Your complete statement history, downloadable as files you can hand to an accountant. Tax certificates. Loan applications and new account opening. Standing instructions and scheduled transfers, wire transfers, managing the fine print of your accounts. If a task involves paperwork, big numbers, or a form with 20 fields, the website is almost always the fuller experience, and sometimes the only one. Now the other side. What the app does better is not a small list either. Biometric login in under a second instead of typing a password. Instant transfers while you're standing at a counter, scanning a code to pay, depositing a check by photographing it. Freezing a lost card the moment you notice it's gone without calling anyone. Push alerts the second money moves. That last one is quietly the best fraud protection most people have, and it only exists on the phone. That's the trade. The app is built for the 10 things you do every week. The website is built for the things you do once a year and for the things worth a lot of money. Which brings me to the promise I made you. Which one is safer? For most people, most of the time, the bank's app is the safer login. 3 reasons. It's distributed through an app store that reviews what it publishes. It plugs straight into your phone's own biometrics and secure hardware. And it can be bound to your device, so stolen credentials alone aren't enough. The browser carries more attack surface, and it's not close. Fake login pages that look exactly like your bank. Malicious extensions sitting quietly inside your browser, reading what you type. Passwords saved in a shared computer. A convincing bank website takes an afternoon to build. A convincing fake app has to get past a review process first. 2 honest caveats though, because I'm not going to oversell this. Fake banking apps and phone malware absolutely exist, so an unlocked phone with no screen lock is a wallet lying open on a table, and the genuine weak link runs through both channels equally, one-time codes sent by text message. SIM swap attacks target exactly that. If your bank offers app-based codes or biometric confirmation instead of SMS codes, take it. That's the single highest value security change most people can make today, and it costs nothing. Last piece, and it's the practical one, limits. Banks don't just set a transfer limit per customer, they very often set it per channel. The cap on what you can send from the app is frequently lower than the cap on the same account through the website, precisely because the phone is treated as the more casual, more losable device. In India, where net banking is the common term, that shows up clearly. NEFT transfers are capped at 2 lakh rupees per transaction on many channels. RTGS has no ceiling set by the regulator at all. Yet individual banks apply their own limits, and those limits routinely differ between the app and the browser. Add a new payee on either channel, and you'll usually wait somewhere between 30 minutes and 4 hours before you can send them a large amount. That delay isn't a glitch, it's a deliberate fraud break. In the United States, the same pattern shows up around wire transfers, which often require the website or a phone call rather than the app. So here's the rule I'd actually use. Use the phone for the daily money, checking, paying, transferring small amounts, freezing a card, watching the alerts. Use the browser for the paperwork and the big money. Statements, tax documents, applications, and any transfer large enough that you'd feel it if it went to the wrong place. They're not competitors, they're the same bank, handing you a fast door and a wide door, and expecting you to know which is which. Now I'm curious about you specifically. When you have to move a large amount of money, do you reach for the app or do you open the laptop? And what made you settle on that? Tell me in the comments.